The year's 1953. The world is different from any recollection. In a small hollow in the frozen north, a man named Artifice grips tightly to his wood stove for warmth. I regret to inform you that he is the main character of this story, for Artifice, isn't the man you want. His actions devoid of any moral relation, his thoughts calculated and self-serving, and his looks lurk. The hour is late. The fire burns hot, but only as a basic offset to the external thermostat. The host awaits the strings to be pulled, the first vibration igniting the orchestra.
Greetings, dearest viewer. It is from the cold, long fingers of the North that I broadcast to you tonight. If you are viewing from a different land, a different time, or a different reality, I will introduce myself. I am Artifice, and welcome to the Reliquary. A quick public service announcement before we continue our program. Do not leave pennies or other objects on the tracks. Historians and researchers have found that many train derailments pre-Thursday were directly correlated to the placing of pennies on the tracks. This beloved American pastime seems harmless enough, but it is a gateway to disaster. The youths will oftentimes start with smaller objects, such as pennies, but don't let them fool you. They will increase gradually the size of objects that they place, with some sizes estimated to be roughly a nickel in diameter. Nickel, as we all know, is one of the toughest materials known to man, and can cut through train wheels like butter. If you or anyone else in the neighborhood has seen such activities happening, please do not hesitate. Call the hotline on your screen immediately. And now we will continue with the rest of our program. In other news, negotiations with spatial continuity have fallen through. Although Treaty Number 71 are still strong, that is, all doors on the right lead to what's on the other side. Treaty Number 17, all doors on the left lead to what's on the other side, has been disputed. As of the current date, all doors on the left now lead to the other. It is critical to your safety, dear viewer, that you use other non-left means of navigation. I.E. Use doors on the right. Climb up or down through trapdoors. Move forward or backwards. B. Barricade or board up all doors on the left to preserve one's own safety and prevent things from entering. Doors on the left. D. Redacted. C. Call a specialist. T. Do not risk you or your loved one's safety. Relocate permanently to a facility with doors only on the right. All right, let's get into it, shall we? What I have in my hands is a pre-Thursday object, an artifact, if you will, found somewhere near the big city, in the riverbed. For today's episode, we'll be using the spatial particle estimator. For those of you viewing from a different time, or perhaps a different reality, I will explain the device. You simply take an object, place it inside, and shut the door. Once the door is shut, we'll proceed to step 2. And Gillette through the switch.
is the turn of the century. Advertising was key. Many companies that built the foundation of society that we live in today formed and dissolved behind the curtain of time. Before the television broadcasts, newspapers were the means of accessing the world's happenings. But newspapers didn't rely solely on the purchase of the written word, and instead sold page space to companies for advertising. The artifact in question, Entropy 212, is the artifact that showcases this very relationship. From the 1800s through the early 1900s, advertisers would create an original metal engraving with the product they wanted to sell. They would then use a slurry of mixed fibers like wood pulp, leather shavings, and a binder to produce what is called the flong. They would then ship the mixed fiber paper flong to a newspaper and or magazine to advertise their goods. The flong would have been a raised page, while the letters were recessed and facing the appropriate direction. The flong was then loaded into a mold, and the molten lead deposited in the mold. The result was a metal negative page, where the letters were to be inverted and raised, allowing the letters to deposit ink. This metal stamp was sometimes cast to be curved, but was malleable enough it could be manipulated or bent. This plate was then mounted to a cylinder with the other text or graphics. A roll of paper was then fed in from the side, and as the cylinder rotated, it would deposit ink on the paper, with all the letters and shapes now in the proper direction. At the end of each issue, or when a company would pull its advertising, the old lead plates would then be melted down so that the raw material could be reused, recast, for different advertisements.
And there you have it, dearest viewer. Entropy 212, a record of pre-Thursday. You know, sometimes I find myself looking at these old records, and I find myself wishing that I could transport myself back to the time when they were created and experience everything that they had. Fortunately, Cask and Bellamy have just the solution. I bring to you their patented formula. Just one dose of their serum, ingested with 1/4 subjective ounces of the object of interest, will take the user back to the object's creation, purchase, and lifetime of service. This formula is backed by over one of the federal bureaus, who have almost certainly ensured that it may be safe to consume recreationally. But the endorsement does not stop there. Oh no. These are the faces and vetted testimonials of consumers just like you.
I used to bring my wife flowers. Always brought a sparkle to her eye. When I'd bring them to her work, everyone would whisper to themselves about what a perfect couple we were. I miss my wife. She passed away 2 years ago now. I ain't some kind of degenerate. I know nothing can bring her back. So I wasn't about to take a piece of her with the formula. If that's what you were thinking. But I did want to spend one last magical night with the love of my life. So I took the formula with 1/4 subjective ounces with a little bit of the toy that we had bought together on our anniversary. Well, darn if it wasn't the last person that it was used on. Guess it makes sense why she was driving back from the shallow plains the night of her accident. If that isn't closure, I don't know what is.
I never thought I would be able to have the chance to experience being on a train like in the old pre-Thursday black and white films. So I sheared off and ground out one of these old train wheels I found. Now I can go anywhere this wheel's gone. Ooh, dang! These tracks seem clean. Oh no. What's that?
I can't believe that I've never tried the serum before now.
I wanted to experience the birth of the universe, the expansion of all matter, light, darkness, evolution, and vibrance, and the devastation of every sentient individual that has ever lived. So I bought a bottle of murmur froth and took it with, 3 equals 7. The experience left me somewhat wanting, probably just overwhelmed. After sobering up, I don't feel concerned like I once was. It's not if, when I die, it's also when I hold Tammy in my arms. When she first wakes up, she frowns at me for a moment. It seems like she's lost something important, so important that nothing will heal her wounds in her heart. But then, the darkness lifts. The bloom of her smile as she locks eyes with me. I don't feel it anymore. The relevance. After you've experienced all matter, all of mankind, all of beasts, every moment of caring, loving, courage, and death, I no longer feel for her adolescent discomfort reality.
And there you have it, dearest viewer. If you are interested in these products, Cask and Bellamy now sell their patented formula at most local grocery stores, cosmetic shops, and of course, Moppet Supers. Yes. Of course. Yes, of course, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. That was Mr. Christie. He would like to remind all of our viewers of tonight's broadcast to stay in your homes, lock all the doors, close all shutters, and to turn all photographs to face the wall. And to forget the relevance of the person you care the most about, at least until morning. Sightings of her has been less frequent of late, but it is important to remember that it is still out there, still hunting, still searching. Good night, dearest viewer. This was The Reliquary.